This is Renegade Femme for the Revolution. I am your host, Zuleika. Thank you for joining me tonight. After all, it's still Christmas, at least here as I'm recording this. And I guess I'm feeling a little reflective. I just got home from watching the holiday movie, The Red One, with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. So if my voice gets a little raspy, forgive me, you know. It's just kind of the side effect of spending 2 hours with The Rock on screen. Anyway, I bring up the movie because there's a scene where his character is talking to Santa and he delivers this great line. I'm going to try to do The Rock justice here. He says, "You say it all the time, Nick. We choose every day who we want to be with big decisions and little ones, and every one of them matters." And I really felt that in my gut because how often do we forget that? How often do we just go through the motions thinking we'll have plenty of time to do the things we want to do, to become the person we want to be? But what if we didn't? What if we only had a short amount of time? You know, the other day I was sitting around just kind of absentmindedly thinking about some decisions I had to make. Nothing major, but just what ifs. And I was kind of, feeling a little anxious about it. And in order to bring me back to center, I phrased the question to myself: how would you feel about this situation, this choice, if you didn't have forever? If you didn't have longer than you think you do? What if you only had 6 months to live? What changes when you realize time isn't endless? What falls away when you stop caring about what people think? What rises up when you let yourself want more without guilt? If I knew I only had 6 months to live, I think I'd strip everything down to what truly matters: love, connection, joy, and leaving something meaningful behind. I'd spend as much time as possible with the people I love, making memories that feel full and real: laughter, deep conversations, sunsets, and simple moments that stick in your soul. I'd probably have way more "I love you" and "thank you" conversations than I ever thought I could. I think I'd also want to create something lasting, something that carries my voice, my lessons, and my love. Maybe it's this podcast. Maybe it's a book. I think I'd really love for it to be a garden, something alive that keeps growing, changing, and giving. A place where people could sit, reflect, and feel close to something rooted in love, not for legacy's sake, but as a reminder of what matters most, especially for my children, to have something to hold on to, something that keeps us connected, even after I'm gone. And I'd live fully. I'd let myself feel everything: joy, passion, gratitude, without worrying if it's too much or too fast. I'd chase experiences I've always wanted, whether that's seeing new places, trying something bold, or telling someone how I really feel without holding back. The good and the bad, right? I think I'd want my last 6 months to feel like a celebration of what it means to be alive. No playing small, no holding back, just raw, honest, joyful living. What about you? What would those 6 months look like for you? That's such a powerful question, and honestly, it cuts right to the heart of what really matters. When you strip away all the overthinking, expectations, and outside noise, it becomes about one thing: how does this make me feel right now? If you knew you had only 6 months, you wouldn't waste time worrying about what people think, overanalyzing, or second guessing. You'd lead with your heart, follow your joy, and chase experiences that make you feel alive. And isn't that the point of living fully, whether it's 6 months or 60 years? Maybe that's the perspective to keep leaning into. Living like time isn't a guarantee, so every decision honors your desires, curiosity, and happiness. Trying something, even if it doesn't turn out exactly as you envision, is often better than wondering what if. Maybe it's less about where it leads and more about what it's showing you right now. So why not try? Life isn't promised, but that's what makes living fully so worth it. It's funny, isn't it? When you really stop and think about what matters, it's never the noise we get caught up in, like what people think, how much we've achieved, or whether we've played it safe. It's always the love, the connections, the joy, and the courage to live fully. Maybe that's the gift of imagining 6 months. It strips away the extra and brings you face to face with what your soul actually wants. And the best part, you don't need a countdown to start living that way. You can step into that energy now, setting boundaries, raising standards, and stepping into your life. The 6 month mindset, it's just the permission slip to stop hesitating and keep saying yes to what feels right. So, whether it's love, a new project, or adventures you haven't even thought of yet, this next season is about leaning in wholeheartedly, fearlessly, and with no regrets. Because if 6 months is enough to live fully, imagine what we can do with a whole year.